Hi there, it is Wade McMaster here from creatorimpact.com. Today's video, I'm going to walk you through, we're going to create a complete website, start to finish, basically in WordPress, something that you can use to create a blog or a small business site and do it with pretty much mostly free software. So, well, the software itself is entirely free. You will have to pay for your domain name and hosting, but WordPress, the themes and plugins we're going to use today are going to be completely free. I'm going to show you how you can get a pretty decent looking site and also how quickly you can sort of put that together. So now, I'm looking for a bit of a budget solution for hosting. I do recommend HostGator. A lot of my web design clients are on there and it's proven to be pretty reliable, pretty stable. But obviously, you know, if you need to shop around and work out which host is best for you, that's fine. Most hosts these days have a one-click WordPress install. But if you want to use HostGator, I do have a link in the description below, but I'll also pop it on screen just with a link. It is an affiliate link I earn a commission from, so you can choose to use that or not. But considering their service has been pretty reliable, and you will get a discount if you click through that link. So to sign up for HostGator, obviously you can go to hosting and go from there. I'm not going to go through the whole sign up process. I'm just going to sort of step through it quickly. But the idea is, what I recommend is actually going for cloud hosting, which doesn't show up here. So what we're going to do is actually go down to the footer and choose cloud hosting. And of course, if you want more than one domain, I will go for the baby plan. You can choose the hatchling plan, but let's just say we're going to go with the baby plan. I've already got an account set up, but basically if you want to register a new domain, you can do that there. If you already own a domain, you can do that there. And you just simply fill out the form using Cloud Baby, how long you want to actually pay for, just your information, what you want to pay with. It's just a general form to sign up. I do recommend getting site lock for your security and also backup, so that way if there's anything sort of happens with your website, you can actually run automated backups. And of course there's that discount code I was talking about, and you can sign up from there. So once you've done that, it'll take a little bit of time for your hosting to get set up. It might take a few hours, but yeah, after you've done that, you should be ready to go and ready to start building your website. Okay, so once your hosting package has been set up, you can access your hosting here. However, there is one thing you should be wary of, and that is waiting until your SSL certificate is active. So before we even get into installing WordPress, which we can simply do by clicking here, which opens up a new tab and lets us install WordPress, what we're actually going to do instead is go over here to Manage Package. And we're going to go down here to Secure HTTPS, and we're going to click Manage on that. Now you do get a free SSL certificate with your hosting, but it does need time to actually activate and link up with your website. So what we're actually going to do is click in here and have a look at the status of it. And you'll see here, because this is a brand new hosting account, it actually hasn't gone through yet. It basically is delegating and needs time. So if you get this error message when you log in, what you need to do is actually just come back either in a day or so, and then you can continue the process from there. But getting this set up before you build the website is going to make life a lot easier for linking everything up with your SSL certificate. Okay, so I've come back and I've actually checked this page, and it still says that the status is pending. But I've checked the website itself, which if I go across over here to flateindustries.com, it is actually up and running because I can see the lock symbols there. And if I click on this using Chrome, it says the certificate is valid. So it is worth actually double checking by going to your website address in Chrome or something and seeing if the green lock is there. Because if it is, that means that your SSL certificate is active, despite what this page here says. So what we're going to do now, we're going to go get ready and install WordPress so we can move on from there. So we're going to go back to the dashboard. We're going to manage package here. Like I said, we can go straight to install WordPress here. If for some reason that disappears, under manage package, these will take you to the same location. We can go install WordPress here also. So install WordPress. Okay, so this is the screen you'll be met with, and it's pretty simple. You land on this WordPress screen, and there's a simple button here that says install now. So all we need to do is actually click install now, and we get this little sort of menu here. Now, generally speaking, you want to leave most of these options pretty much standard. So the version you want to install, I just go with default, which is the latest version available. We want this to make sure this is HTTPS. Now that our SSL security is there, want to choose the right domain. And if you want to install it into a directory such as, flateindustries.com/blog, I can type in blog, but I generally recommend leaving that blank, so that way when people just punch in your domain name, they get your WordPress site. Down here, obviously we enter our blog name, so I'll just say Flate Industries. Let's go a blog about all kinds of things. And I leave that the way it is. I give it a username and password, something unique. So I might say Flade Master, and I'll give it a password, something like maybe capitals, and then some lowercase. So I'll go blog, then some numbers such as. So that way we've got some capitals, some lowercase, some numbers, and some symbols such as exclamation marks. So I will be changing this password obviously, but you sort of get the idea. Admin email. I don't have an email set up there, but that's fine for now because this is only a test site. And other than that, we're good to go. English. Now this here is a good idea, limiting your login attempts, but we're going to use a different plugin for that. So that's pretty much it. We just want to fill out the software setup area, a name, a username, password we're going to remember. Also, do record these. I'm just going to pop these off somewhere to the side for record keeping. Just in a Word document I have on my monitor over here on the left. So save these details, and when you are ready, click install. And now, as you can see, it says here, congratulations, the software was installed correctly, and now we can actually log in and have a look. So I'm going to go to where it says administrative URL here. I'm going to click on that. And you can see we're actually automatically logged in through the back end there. So there's a whole bunch of plugins on here, which I actually don't recommend necessarily using. They're not bad, but if you're following any of my processes, what I'm teaching here, we're actually going to remove these. So I'm going to go in down the left here. This is kind of like your menu down the left for accessing different areas of the back end of your site. Going up the top here will actually allow you to go to the front end. So if I click on this little house symbol or Flate Industries, it'll take me out to the front end of the site, which is currently this. But if I just refresh that, you see it's now our WordPress website. So we've got Flate Industries, we've got our home page. It's not what we want yet, but this is what's there at the moment. Now, if you do get that other screen, you will have to refresh. It's just it's been cached, so it's stuck there. But now that I'm at the front, I go to the same area. This time, the home symbol is turned into a little sort of dial. I click on that to head back into the back end of the site. And so now we're going to go through. It's going to basically go through. We're going to fix a few settings. We're going to remove a few plugins. We're just going to start to get things set up. So basically, I've got this little notification here. I'm going to dismiss. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is go into Appearance. Sorry, not into Appearance, I lie. I'm going to go into Plugins just underneath. I'm going to click on Plugins. Now, I don't want any of these plugins. They're all great plugins, but for what we're doing here, the methods that I'm sort of teaching to get your website set up, we basically don't want them. So I'm going to click this top box to select all the plugins. I'm going to deactivate first, click Apply. Then I'm going to tick them all again, and I'm going to go to delete. And that's basically it. Where all those plugins are gone. But there is one more I'm going to add because I don't want people to be able to see our live site while we're working on it. So I'm going to up the top to plugins, and I'm going to click Add New. And this is just a simple coming soon plugin I use. You can use another one if you wish, but JF Simple Coming Soon is one I use just because it's nice and simple. I click Install Now. I activate it. And then I now I've got it installed. I can go down to Settings, Simple Coming Soon. I'm just going to enable this plugin and leave this here. Now you can customize this message. You can say this website's coming soon. You can put some address details there, pop your logo by adding in some imagery by clicking Add Media. You can go through, but personally, I just like to leave it this way. If I haven't announced the site, I just leave it. But yeah, feel free to simply point, type, add in images, and all that, anything you want to in there. And then you can change the background color from black with white text, or you can make it a white background with black text. It's pretty much up to you. It's pretty easy to use, but I'm happy with the way it is. So I'm going to make sure that I've ticked enable plugin. Scroll down, I click save changes. And now I have a coming soon page up, so when someone visits the website, I'll actually open up another browser. And I get this page here saying this website is coming soon. So it's pretty handy, pretty straightforward, but I'm going to close that now and get back to this site. So now what I like to do first, I'm going to go back to the dashboard at the top. And I like to go down and change a few things down the left here. Now, updates we don't need to worry about because we've removed all the plugins and there's nothing there to update apart from that one. Posts, we're not concerned about that right now. Pages, but we do want to get a few things set up before we actually start creating pages and posts. So I'm actually going to go down straight to settings and across to general. And we're going to check a few settings, change a few things, and make sure we're happy with it. First of all, we're happy with our site title. We filled that out on the page installing the site. We're happy with the tagline. And if you want to check the date, make sure that your date's lined up with the date that you're currently, your current date. Then you can do that there as well. Now, at the moment, this isn't my time zone, so I do need to sort of find the right one. So maybe I go down. So I check the time here until I'm happy, and just basically find the time zone if you want to actually run it according to a certain time. You can go by country. So if I go up, I can find, if I type in AU, basically I want to find Australia. So you can go in here, find your country. Or in this case, we're actually looking for, I think, a city. So it's not necessarily a country. So if I type in, say, Brisbane, there we go, there's Brisbane. I'm in Brisbane time. I can set that up. That's not necessary, but you can. And you can leave your cache on. I like to turn it off while I'm working on it. So I'm just going to click Save Changes. You can turn that cache back on later, but while I'm building, I prefer not to have any issues. So just simply go down and make sure you're happy with these settings. So we go to writing. I'll leave that as it is. I'm happy with all that. Now, reading is something we do want to look at. At the moment, if you're happy to have your homepage summarize your blog posts, we can just leave it like that. But if you would like to, we'll actually come back to this later. We're going to set things up as if we have a blog on a separate page with a separate homepage. But for now, our homepage is just a blog, and we're happy with that. If you don't want search engines to find your site, tick that. Most people will not want to tick that. So discussion, we're all pretty much happy with the default here. But if you don't want comments on your site, it can be worth getting a plugin to do that. If you want to manually approve all comments to avoid spam, I would turn that on. And we're just going to pretty much save that. We're happy with that. I'm going to skip media, and we're going to go to permalinks. Now, at the moment, this is a very long and complicated permalink. For SEO purposes, we want to keep it shorter and more keyword rich. So we're going to come down here where it says post name. We want to be able to put our keywords in here. So I'm just going to click post name and save those changes. And that's pretty much it. So we're set with that. Next stage is actually privacy. We want to come up with a privacy policy. So to change your privacy policy page, there's already a page there. We're going to use this page. And now our privacy policy page is there. Now, I'm sure you don't want to sit there here and watch me write a privacy policy, but I will touch on it. So we've gone through our settings and set it up. So let's go into pages and let's go to all pages. You'll see our privacy policy here. If I click on this, I'm going to close it down. Now this has got a basic sort of starter privacy policy that comes with WordPress. You can go in and fill in the blanks yourself if you know how, or you can use a privacy policy generator, something online that will ask you a series of questions and generate a privacy policy for you. I will pop some links below for that, so that way you have some resources on privacy policy generators. But But yeah, you simply go in here and you can copy and paste your privacy policy in there and go from there. But just something to keep in mind. I'm sure you don't want to watch me type up a privacy policy, but that's basically it. We'll leave that privacy policy as it is for now. So yeah, you can go through and set those up. But yeah, otherwise a privacy policy generator or a solicitor or a lawyer is probably the way to go there. But I'm going to publish this as if we're happy with it and go from there. So you see here our left sidebar has disappeared. When we enter the WordPress editor, and even with the current theme, this actually looks different, but the actual left menu disappears altogether, and we need to click this little WordPress symbol over the top left to get back out into our dashboard. So we're back out. What I'm going to do here is add some pages very quickly. So I'm going to go up to here, I'm going to go to Pages, Add New, and create a page. I'm going to call it Blog, and I'm going to just publish it straight away, blank. I'm happy with that. So now I'm actually going to just go back out again, create a new page. I'm going to call this one Home, and I'm going to publish Home. Okay, so if you don't want to move your blog off the home page, I probably should have said this beforehand, you don't have to create these pages. You can leave it as it is. But we're going to create a website with a home page and a separate blog page. So we're going to go back out to WordPress out here to View Pages. Go back down to Settings and then down to Reading. And this is how you change your website to have a home page instead of a blog. So as your home page displays, we turn this to a static page. So the home page we're going to say is Home. The post page we're going to say is Blog. And we're going to save those changes. And now we're pretty much good to get started on a few other bits and pieces. So there's a few plugins I want to add here. Some of them are going to be a bit boring. So feel free to check out the notes below if you want to skip any of this stuff. But I'm going to start by installing a few plugins just to get things moving. So I'm going to go to Plugins and click Add New. Okay, so now I'm actually going to start installing some plugins, getting things set up. The first one I'm going to set up is All-in-One SEO. You can choose Yoast SEO if you want. I don't put too much stock in SEO plugins though, just as long as I can get my meta title and description in there and make a few little tweaks, I'm generally pretty happy because it'll be your content that does the talking, and you don't want to get caught up over optimizing. But generally speaking, this will do everything you need it to. We then install All-in-One SEO. We activate it. And that one's good to go. I'm going to add one more here. I'm going to go to Add New and type in iThemes Security. And I'm going to install that too. iThemes Security, formerly Better WP Security. And we're going to set these two up. So one is to optimize your search engine optimization, which is All-in-One SEO. And this one is just to make your website a bit more secure. So we'll go Activate. And now we have those two plugins installed. So what I'm actually going to do now, I'm going to go up the top here to All-in-One SEO and to General Settings. Now we're not looking at Pro, we just want to keep it the free version. But what we're basically going to do, we do want to optimize our home title. Now you see here, we've got a bit of a guide. Most search engines use a maximum of 57 characters. Most use 160. And you get a little counter here. So you want to make this keyword rich. So let's say that I'm aiming for the keyword paleo food or something. I'll say Flayed Industries. We make paleo food. Or maybe I say we make paleo food. Then I put a little vertical line there. Flayed Industries. Something like that. We want to get our keyword in there. And that way we've got 38 out of 57 characters. That's all good. So now down here I want to add the keyword again. It's like, are you searching for paleo food at Flayed industries. We are paleo specialists or something, you know. Either way, you can fit more in there. You got up to 160 characters. I've used 78. We've got our keyword in there, and that's basically good to go there. Now the next setting I want to go to, if you scroll down, is title settings. I pretty much like things the way they are here, except for post titles. Once again, for search engine optimization, I like to remove the site title so our blog posts are really focused on the keywords in our title. And I like to go from there and just keep that nice and simple. Scroll down. So you've got a few options here. It's pretty much preference from here on, but one thing I like to do is if I don't have a description typed in, I do like to auto-generate and use content for that. But generally speaking, I leave a lot of this at default. If you want to get really particular, I do have a blog post on some of the settings, preferred settings, but most of them are going to be default anyway. You can install Google Analytics in here and that sort of thing. That's a topic for another video, but we're just focused on getting a site built at this stage. And I do have a video on how to insert Google Analytics if you want to look at that. But otherwise, we're pretty much good to go. So we're going to update those options. That's all updated, and our website now has all-in-one SEO operating on it. So the next thing I'm going to move on to is security. So you see now we have this badge down here called security. If I click on that, now first things first, we're actually going to enable this. I'm going to click secure site. And it's going to go through and set up a whole bunch of basic settings to secure the site. I'm not too concerned about setting up a redirect to HTTPS because our website's already set up on HTTPS. Everything we upload from here on will have that already. We can activate brute force protection with this email. I don't want to receive email updates, so I'll leave that as no. I'll click activate. Once I'm done, I just hit close. There's a few things here we want to look at. I do recommend getting a proper backup plugin like Backup Buddy, but for now, if we want, we can go to database backups and click configure settings. So we can tick this. You can save it locally and email it. So a backup location will be here, or you can just simply have it email the database to you. You do want to zip them up. Enable scheduled backups every 3 days. So click that, turn that on. Make sure we have this ticked as well. And now I just click save settings. So now every few days we'll get a database backup of our site. Not the files though. If you want to get the files, I recommend getting a plugin, like I said, like Backup Buddy. I do have a video on that. I'll also link to below. But that will allow you to back up your entire website on a schedule, even upload it to things like Dropbox. But database backups is pretty much done. I like to go through and check out these settings one by one and enable the ones that I think will work best. But to sort of cut through it pretty quickly, I'll just go to notification, go to global settings. I'm pretty much happy with all those, but I do want to add my current IP to the authorized hosts list. Not going to do that because I want you to see on my IP, but I would click that, turn that on, and click save. Notification center. If you don't want to receive emails for these things, so obviously database backup will go here. Security digest. If you don't want a security digest, you can just deactivate that. Every time, now I do recommend turning off site lockouts because it just means the bot's trying to log into your site and trying to hack your site. And just about every website created on WordPress has this issue, so there's always going to be lockouts. It's when the bots get through that is actually a problem, and you're not going to get notified if that happens, so you just need to check on your site. So I generally turn those off just because I don't think they're necessary and you don't really gain too much from them. 404 protection, I do enable that. So that's just another way of just sort of protecting your site from people looking for things, looking for pages that aren't there, trying to find a loophole. So save those settings. Now, once again, I do have a video on all the settings I like for this too. Once again, I'll go into that below, but local brute force protection, we do want that. So we go to configure settings, max login attempts per host, max login attempts per user. So you've got 5 attempts before you get locked out. If you want to be very particular, if anyone tries to log in with admin, you can actually tick this and it'll automatically block them. So that sort of protects you from people trying to just try a massive amount of password combinations and bits and pieces to log in. So there's a few others here you can do. You can go through and enable a few things in here. At this stage, I think a lot of the work's done. WordPress tweaks. You can go through and sort of tick some of these for a little added protection. And disable. I don't like disabling login error messages, so because you don't know why you're not getting logged in. But you can just tick a few of these, like forcing a unique nickname, disable extra user archives. You can choose to make it username only. People can't log in with their email address. It's another way of securing your login page. I just leave it as default. Yeah, we save those settings. You can go into system tweaks as well if I enable that. Protect system files. I do like to turn a lot of these on, but if you do have issues, I do pretty much turn all of these on. But if you have issues with some plugins, you might need to just test, deactivate certain things and see if that removes the error. But otherwise, I like to tick all of those on. WordPress salts, you can tick that as well. It will log you out. You'll have to log back in. So you do, if you want to tick that and save it, you will get logged out. But to keep this video going, I will leave it unticked. So you log back in after your WordPress salts have been applied and go down to your security again. Now these are all the recommended. I like to go to advanced also. Admin user, I do recommend ticking that and saving that as well. Once again, you will get logged out, so we'll skip that this time around. Changing the database table prefix. If I go to configure, at the moment, if this is WP underscore, I would click yes. But at the moment, it's not. It's something a bit more random, harder to guess, so I leave it as it is and click Save Settings. Hide backend is the final one, so I go to Configure Settings. I enable Hide Backend. So this allows you to change the address of the login. So I can change this to something like flayed login and basically change that login address so people can't go to my website and just simply type in /wp-login.php, which a lot of people will do to see if a WordPress website is in fact made on WordPress or to try and log in. But changing that little address there just makes it a little bit harder to find. So I'm going to click Save Settings. And you'll see that it says the current login URLs. Now this, I would highlight that, right click and copy, and then I would save those details somewhere so you can come back to them. Because next time you go to log into your website, this is the address you'll go to using the username and password you originally set up earlier. So I save those settings. I don't need to save them again actually, but that is the basic security of our site set up. So what we're going to start doing now is we're going to actually just come up with some basic pages, and then we're going to install a theme and start having a bit of fun with it. So I'm going to go up to Pages. Okay, so now we're here. I've zoomed in a little bit, and what I'm actually going to do very quickly is I'm actually going to just create a few pages, a few dummy blog posts. We're not going to watch the entire writing of these, but I am going to show you a bit of a process, and then we're just going to speed through some of the writing. But basically, I'm going to start off by writing our our home page, and that way we're going to add to it. When we get the theme up there, we're going to work and add on a few bits and pieces. But to start off with, we're going to go to the home page here and click on that. And we're going to start writing some content. But what I'm actually going to do, I'm going to write this. I just want to show you the difference, because WordPress doesn't look like this unless you're using a particular theme. It is slightly different in appearance. The function's identical. Grammarly is being a bit funny there, but it's actually, I'm going to write a little bit on the home page, and I'm going to actually install our theme just so you can see the difference of how things look. So actually what I'll do, you've seen this here. I'll say welcome to our website. I'm going to come back and expand upon this, but I'm just going to install the theme I intend on using. So I'm just going to click Update. And I'm darting back and forth a little bit here, but I just want to show you basically how it works. I'm going to go to Appearance and Themes. You notice here we have 2020 installed. There's a bunch of other themes that have come with the website. But I'm going to search, I'm going to go Add New, and there's a free theme that we're going to use called Astra. So I'm going to type that in. I'm going to go here to install. Now before I install Astra, just be aware, I'm just going to install this now. You can go through and search for anything If you want to, I can want a car theme. I can type in car, and you see, well, we've got care, care, car. The word car is in care, but we've got a car theme here. You can search for a theme you think is going to be most useful to you. You can type in fitness. So you've got fitness themes here you can choose, or you can simply go to featured and see what the featured themes are. So you've got Hello Elementor, a few bits and pieces here. So you can go through and search. You can go to popular. You'll see Astra is actually the second most popular. It's already installed. Yeah, you can actually find a theme you think is going to look the best, install it. You can have a play with it. If you don't like it, you can then go back into appearance themes and add a new theme that way. As long as the content, most of the content you type is in your WordPress editor, you're not going to lose any of that content when you switch themes. So let's go back to themes for a moment, because we have installed the Astra theme, but we haven't activated it. So I'm going to go over here to Astra. I'm going to click activate. And then we're going to go back to our pages, and we're going to worry about editing and working on the appearance of this theme later. For now, we're going to go to pages, all pages again. This time when I go into home, you'll notice things will look a little bit different. Now this is generally what your editor is going to look like in most cases. The font's different, we've got a white background. With most themes, like 99.9% of themes you try, this is how it's going to look. So I did want to sort of edit with this current look so you get a bit of an idea. So welcome to our website. This is Blade Industries. So you basically want to introduce yourself. I'll bullet point this out. So we say introduce yourself. So you say, you know, what you offer very briefly. Your about page is going to be sort of like a thick, like a longer version of this. Say who you are, and then we'll add a button in there to read more, which will actually, all right, we're going to put in like a read more button. So I'm going to go through, I'm going to very briefly cover what it is we offer here and who we are, and then I'm going to add a read more link button in here. So I'm just going to quickly do that. We're going to speed up this just so you don't have to watch me type the whole thing, and then we'll continue from there. Okay, so you can see here, I've got a basic sort of like welcome message here. Maybe I want to just italicize this one. Maybe I want to bold this, italicize again, enter. So you see, it's pretty easy. You simply click and type like you would any text editor. Wherever you click, each area is kind of like a block. You used to be able to see the outline a bit better, but they've simply removed that now. So this is sort of like one block here, which is like a paragraph, another block. If I sort of select, click down here and sort of drag up, you can see how each line and paragraph is basically like a block. As I click on each one, we get our formatting options here and here, here. And of course, I have other options over here. So if I say I want to change this who are we, I can change the size of this font to something much bigger. I can go normal. I can change it from simple paragraph to a heading if I want to. Whoops. This will sort of follow you around wherever you go. I can also hit Control Z or this button here to undo if I don't like that. But whenever you click on a block, regardless what that block is, these are all text or paragraph blocks. When I changed that to a heading, it became a heading block. You do get some options here on the right under block, which if you can't see that, this little cog toggles that on and off up the top right. And you can change a few settings here, drop cap. You can go in here. This is sort of more if you are up to sort of HTML or CSS coding under advanced. Probably don't need to worry about that. You can change the color of the text here to red if you want to, or you can simply clear that. You can have set a background color like pink, blue. You can choose a custom color. So if you want something more subtle, something like this, and you can do a few basic customizations to your text in there. But generally speaking, I don't like playing with the color and the text too much. I like to keep it pretty basic because it is easier to read, and your theme will style a lot of it for you. But if you do have particular things you want to change and edit, you can do that. So I'm going to add in a read more button here to link off to our about page. So instead of having text, I've just cleared the text, and over here next to this plus button, I can choose to browse all the different sort of blocks and modules available. But instead, I'm going to go up top here and type in button to add a button. and I can say read more. If I click on that, there's a little link symbol here. I can click on that link, and I'm going to type in, say, the website address. If I have another page, let's actually just make this the blog for now. I can actually go straight to the blog if I want to, and by simply typing that word in, it'll come up with some pages I have here. Let's say we want to link to this sample page, and we're going to change that to our about page. So I'm going to click sample page, and I'm going to, if I want to, I can have it open a new tab. I don't want that. I'm going to leave it. I update this page. If I want to, I can view the page here. And this is what our website looks like now that we've changed the theme. It's very plain at the moment, but we are going to play with it a bit. But you can see here we've got our home page. Welcome to our website. Read more, and this takes us to the sample page that comes with WordPress. And we are going to change this page and eventually change this whole layout. So for now, we're going to go back up the top here to go to the dashboard. Go down to pages. And instead of creating a new page for about, we're going to click on our sample page. Okay, so now I have the sample page open, and I'm going to actually change the title of this page to About Us. Now, the other thing I want to do is the address is actually not really suitable at the moment for the title. So over here where I've got my menu, if I have block selected, I want to click over to document, or turn that on, turn it off. I want to go to document either way, and I want to come down to permalink here, click my little arrow, and there it says sample page. I'm just going to change that to about. You'll see down here the address is now flayedindustries.com/about. If I change that to something else, so maybe I add about-us, it now becomes flayedindustries.com/about-us. So that is how we change the address of this page, and so now it's like it's a whole new page. So what I'm actually going to do now, I'm going to highlight everything, and I'm just going to hit delete. Whoop. Select. I've accidentally deselect, so I'll select the whole lot and press delete on my keyboard. Now I'm ready to type my about page up. So what I'm going to do, once again, I'm going to go through my process. We'll speed up the typing side of things just so you're not getting too bored, but we're going to basically bullet point this out before we type. So the first thing I want our about page to be about, I wanted to obviously talk about what we offer. So pretty much what the point of the business is. It's going to be very similar to the home page. This time I'm going to say who we are. We might say history, and then we'll say so something about the staff or people who own it. Then we're going to say call to action, and then maybe even a secondary call to action to link off to our services. Although we might come back to that one. We'll get rid of that one. We'll leave services out. All right, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to type this up, and what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to create headings for these as well. But I'm only going to type the headings in and press enter and leave them there, and I'll format them afterwards to show you how we can set this up so that it's scannable and go from there. Okay, so I've written up the content for our page. Just noticed a little error there. And basically, we're going to set this up and get it looking a bit more scannable and something a little bit more useful for our about page. So basically, we've got a little welcome here. I'm actually italicized that one there. And we've got a little bit of an introduction saying, yeah, if you're looking to improve your health. Now, one thing you'll notice, I'll give you a few tips on writing some of these things, is that I've tried to focus on talking to the person from their perspective. So if you're looking to improve your health, as opposed to we do this and we do that. So if you are looking for to improve your health, fitness, or try paleo, then we can offer you a toolbox. So that's just a nice little tip for trying to improve your improve the way it's read by someone on your site. Now, the first thing I'm going to do to make this scannable is, at the moment, even though it's broken up, it's still not really scannable. You don't really know where to look. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to highlight this and turn it into a header. A heading 2, which is fine. And now we have this large heading so people can start there. Next thing I'm going to do is we want people to, if they know what we do and they want to know more about us, we're going to turn this who we are here into a heading also, as well as our history. We're going to turn that into a heading. and then another ready to take action for our call to action, and a contact us button, which is not linked up to the contact page because we haven't created it yet, but we will come back to that. So now it's a little bit more scannable because we have headings. But there's something else I want to do here to make it scannable, and that is we have here some items. I'm going to say lots more. And we're actually going to turn this into some dot points. So the way that works is it's pretty simple. I got my block here, I click on paragraph, I turn it into a list. And now I'm going to simply select the comma and the space, hit enter, enter, hit enter. And that makes things a bit more visual to look at. So we land, if you don't want to read the whole page, you go, yep, welcome, okay, these guys do this. Who are we? Oh, yep, I can see that they're this. Oh, yep, the history. Oh, yeah, 15 years. They can read the history if they want to. In case you're wondering, some of this stuff that I'm using to correct is actually Grammarly. I will put a link to Grammarly below as well. Grammarly is a great program for correcting any errors. And then we've got our call to action down the bottom. So everything here is quite scannable. It's looking pretty good, but it is missing a few things such as just some imagery to break it up. So what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to exit the full screen of my browser, open up a new tab. I'm going to go to pexels.com. I'm going to search for, I'm going to say health food. Obviously you want to be a little bit more focused, but we're just going to pop some of this stuff on here to fancy it up a little bit. So let's say we want to pop this on there. Because we don't want full size, because it's way too big, our content area is not really going to be any larger than 1280 pixels wide. So I'm going to click medium, I'm going to, medium, and free download. And if you are using Pexels, you can choose to simply upload and say nothing, but it's also good to attribute the link. So photo by Jill Wellington. It's good to be able to copy and paste that in there if you want to. But we'll just keep moving from here. And what else do we have? We'll probably put another image in there. So we get this one here. Again, medium, free download. We're going to get 3 images on this page just to break it up a little bit. And then something like this. Or even a green smoothie. Yeah, let's choose that one. This time I'm going to go small because I'm going to right align this image. Whoops. Small. So this is pexels.com, P-E-X-E-L-S.com. An awesome site for free stock photography you can use on your website. So I'll go back to my page over here. And I'm going to add in a few images just to get things looking just a bit better. So I'm going to start off by going down here, clicking the plus button, and going to image. If you don't see image here, you can go up top and type in image, or you can even click browse all, and you do get a full list of bits and pieces you can add in here, and images down there. So we've got our image. I'm now going to upload it. I'm actually going to pick this one here, upload that. It looks pretty huge here at the moment, but we'll preview it in a sec. I'll get rid of that block. Now another thing I'm going to do is I want to sort of right align that other image up here. So I'm going to click just above Flat Industries, hit enter to create a blank space. I click into that space, and again I hit plus. I'll hit image. This time I'm going to go to the media library, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to select these files and upload. Let's upload all of them. I can't remember which one I chose. Okay, I'm going to click on this smoothie picture, add that in there. But this time I'm going to click, I've clicked on the image. I've got the option here to change the alignment. I'm going to make it align to the right. It's still quite large, so I'm going to shrink it a little bit. I think that should be sort of pretty good. I'm just going to zoom out a little bit too. Turn on that sidebar. So we've got an image on the right here. Image there. If we scroll down, so maybe above ready to take action, we will add one more image. So we've got the tomatoes. Let's go here, add an image. media library, and we can go for our little bowl of food there. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with that. I'm going to update this page, and then I'm going to view it and just basically see how it looks. So you can see here we've got our About Us, Welcome to Flayed Industries, a little bit of a rundown with a picture on the right, our our tomato image, a little bit more, and we've got our image above ready to take action. Now, I do have one issue with this, and that is I feel these images are too close together. Maybe I'd like to move this image to above history. I'll go back up the top to edit page, scroll down, I click on this image, and I get these little arrows. If I click down and down again, you'll see just above it is moving. If I keep on going, I've gone past history, I'll just go just above it. I now update, and then I view page again. Now we have our little intro image on the right. This image. So we've got a few images on the page, a little bit of information. It's all broken up. We've got scannable headers, and our About page is basically ready to go. So we're going to move on and create a few other pages. I'm not going to go too nuts with the pages. Obviously, I don't want you to get too bored out of your mind, but we're going to go ahead and we're going to make a services page and a contact page. So I'm just going to click New at the top here and go to New Page. I'm going to go Services. And once again, we go through, type our main headers, but this time what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to go plus, I'm going to type in media and text. So I'll type in media, we get media and text. Over here I'm going to say, so paleo food. And then what I'm actually going to do, I'll type up something, I'm going to say, we sell paleo food for your needs. So we'll say protein, plant-based, and supplements made of the highest quality. And then I'm going to duplicate this. So I'm going to basically click off on the image area. I'm going to right click, I'm going to duplicate it, and I'm going to duplicate it again and again, and I'm just going to simply retitle these because I want to show you we get like a nice effect when we do it this way with the media and the image on the left. So we've got paleo food, let's just say fitness gear, books and guides, and then we're going to actually add another one here. We're going to call it advice. Now I'm going to go through once again, I'll speed this up, and we're going to add in some information and some images that you can use just to basically get this going. Okay, so there's a lot happening there and you might not have caught it, but basically what I've done is I've gone to Pexels, as I did before with the About page, downloaded a series of images, and I went to the media library here and I uploaded these files. So now we can start adding them in. So I'm basically going to go through and pick one from each and go across here, so down to each media area and pick the appropriate photo. So books and guides, and then of course advice. And then of course down the bottom here to sign out I'm going to say need more information, contact us today. So a little call to action. We can link that up to the contact page if we want to later, but for now we're going to sort of stick with that. So that's our services page, nice and easy. Once again, now this is one of the few pages that we've started editing as a draft. So if you want, before we publish this, for one, we can save the draft. So if you're not ready to publish or your website's live and you don't want to publish yet, you can do that. Click preview and then it'll open in a new tab. Just going to close that. And you see we've got here services, below is a range of services we offer: paleo food, fitness gear, books and guides, and advice, and a little bit of info down the bottom. So that's a very quick and easy way to put together like a little services page for your business or for your blog if you're looking to sell services online or products. Obviously, this is not an e-commerce site. It is just like a business, more of a standard business site or a blog, but you sort of get the idea. So we're happy with that. We're going to close that tab, and now we're going to publish and publish. And finally, we're going to add another page. We're going to duck back out, head back into full screen, add a new page. Going to go contact us. And this is going to be quite simple. We're going to say, if you have any questions about what we do or would like to set up an appointment, contact us below. All right, and now we can go, so we say address, this is only a dummy address. We're going to say 82 Queens Road. Now Sunshine Coast is not an address, but that's just what I'm going to put for the video. Postcode, say phone. We'll pop in some random number, so we'll go 09. We get our phone number there. I'm going to highlight this, make it bold, but hit Control B. Now email, you can pop an email here. So we can say info@flateindustries.com. And we can leave it at that, and we can highlight that. I like to copy it, open the link, whoops, copy it. You can highlight it and even paste it in. So highlight it, link. It's already linked it to an email. So if I click here, you can see it says mail to. So yeah, sorry to confuse you a bit there, but if you have an email address and you highlight it and press the link button, it just creates a link to that email so people can click on that. Now the reason I'm wary about putting this on here is that it will, if I just add that S in there, it will actually, whoops, it will actually be more likely to be sent spam. We'll have to add that S in there too. So because it's a public website and people can see what it is you've got there, that is a public address that bots and spammers can pick up and start emailing you. So you can keep that on there or not. I will keep it on there for the sake of the video. The other thing we can possibly do is actually add a contact form. Now I actually have a plugin I prefer to use for this. So I'm just going to save the draft here. Head back out into WordPress, and I'm going to install a plugin for our contact form. So I'm going to go into plugins, add new, and I'm going to just cut across this really quickly. I will work on perhaps a better video on this. It's called Ninja Forms. We'll work possibly on a better video for Ninja Forms, but for now we just want to cut to the chase and get this on as quick as possible, just with everything we need. So we've got here Ninja Forms, my Saturday Drive, drag and drop form builder. We go install now, and we activate it. And then you'll see this tab over here that says Ninja Forms. Now if I go across to dashboard here, it's going to, not now for that. It actually already comes with a contact me form loaded. So if I click on this form, we've got name, email, message, and submit. So we could basically go run with that if we want to. But if I click on name, hover over the cog, do not click it. I click this duplicate button. I now click on this form field over here, change it to phone, done. I now have a form people can submit. However, you can also get a bit of spam. So what we're actually going to do is we're going to add in another form. I'm going to go reCAPTCHA along here somewhere, reCAPTCHA, and we're going to just drag that up, click on it. I'm going to remove the label of reCAPTCHA and just click OK. I'm going to leave that as visible. And we have a reCAPTCHA there. We're going to set that up in a minute. So basically what we're going to do is now under email and actions. So when someone actually stores something in this form, it stores a submission that you can check on the main dashboard. I'll show you in a minute. You'll send an email confirmation to the person who's actually submitted the form and an email notification to you. So if you go to the email notification and click on the cog, it says it uses the admin email by default, but you can type in another email in there instead, like info@flayedindustries.com. I prefer to remove the message field altogether, and I go over here, just next to like that center button here. I click on that, I go to form, and then I go to an all fields table. And I'm actually pretty happy with that form now. I click done, I publish, and publish, it just saves the form. The form is actually already published. I then click the X, and I've added a phone number to the form, I've changed the email address, and I've just made sure that all of the fields are present in the email. If I want to check submissions, I can click this cog and go view submissions, and that's all from the Ninja Forms dashboard. The other thing I'm going to show you, I'm going to go under settings here, and we're going to add in our reCAPTCHA information. So you would have seen that flash up before, blurred out. Is actually some site keys from other websites I've done. What we're going to do, you see, get a site key for your domain by registering here. So I'm going to hold down Control to open a new tab and click here. I'm going to tab across, and this is the Google reCAPTCHA page. Now I want to go to the admin console. Your screen may be different, but just simply sign up. But if you're not, just head to the admin console. Now a lot of this is blurred out for the moment, but if I click this plus symbol up here, I'm going to call this flayedindustries.com. I'm going to right click and copy that because that is the domain. I'm going to choose reCAPTCHA version 2 with the I am a robot checkbox. I'm going to paste the domain in there. I'm going to accept the terms of service, and I'm not going to send alert to owners. Basically, I just want it to have an I am robot checklist. I want it to work on this domain name, and I don't want to really be receiving alerts or anything. So I'm going to click submit. And you'll see here we've got our keys. So I'm going to copy this site key. I'm going to tab back and paste that site key there. Now again, I have blurred these out because it is sensitive information. We're going to copy the secret key, tab across, and paste in the secret key. And then under the reCAPTCHA language, I'm just going to type in EN for English. When I'm done, I'm going to scroll down and click Save Settings. So we've just created a contact form for our contact page. So now if I go back into Pages, go over to the Contact Us page, which says Draft because it is not published yet. Where it says here, Start Writing, I click there, I go to my plus button. I type in Ninja for Ninja Forms, and you see we have here Ninja Forms. So I click that, I select my form, which is Contact Me, and now we have a basic contact form with a checkbox there. So now I'm going to publish this page, I'm happy with it. I'm going to view the page, and I'm going to quickly fill that out. So I'm going to say Wade, 1, 2, 3, out of that, info@info.com. Test. I'm going to check the box and hit submit. Confirmation email sent to info@info.com. I hope that's not a real address. Did not consider that when I put that in there. But otherwise, we've got pages. We've got our contact page, our services page. Not very happy with the order of this heading, but we're going to change that soon. But yeah, I've got all our pages there. We've got a really basic home page. And I'm just going to head back to my dashboard, and we're going to look at our submissions so we can see that it's gone through. So Ninja Forms, dashboard. We click that cog and view submissions. You can see here we got my info there from the submission. So now what we're going to do is we're going to quickly fix up our menu order, and then after that we're going to start playing with the appearance of the theme. So that's probably the fun bit, but we've got most of our website sort of written up and ready to go. Okay, so now if I go back out to the front end by clicking up here, as I mentioned before, looking at this, the order of this is not really great, and I don't necessarily want the privacy policy up in the top navigation. So what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to reorganize these. I'm going to go into my dashboard again. So click here. I'm going to go down to appearance and then to menus. And what we're going to do is create a menu, and we're going to control what pages we want on there and the order that they're actually presented in. So that way we get looking the way we want. So we create a new menu. I'm just going to call it main menu. I'm going to click create menu. And you see our most recent pages here. I'm actually going to go to view all, and I'm going to add, basically select all. I'm going to untick privacy policy. I'm going to add to menu. I'm going to add this to the primary menu, and I'm going to say home. I have about us, contact us at the end, services, and then I'm going to save that menu. Now the other thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to now create another menu, call it footer, create that menu, tick the footer menu. I'm going to add in, if I go back to view all, privacy policy and contact us, and save that menu. So now if I go back out to Flayed Industries, back to the main page, you see we now have home, about us, services, blog, and contact us. And if I scroll down to our footer, there's actually no menu on the footer at the moment. So I'm not exactly sure. I haven't used this theme. I've sort of played with it for about 5 minutes, but generally the footer menu would go down the bottom, but for some reason it's not there. But that's all right. Depending on what theme you use will depend on how that actually works. So once again, we've got home, read more, goes to our about page. Oh, this page doesn't exist. So what we're going to do, we're going to go back to home, and we're going to fix this button. So we're going to edit page. We have changed the link on the about page, so that is probably what has happened. It's still linking to the sample page. So I'm going to click edit, and this time I'm going to clear this and type about, go about us, and then I'm going to update that page. What we're also going to do is just simply go back over here, and we're going to go to our services page. We're going to link up all the contact us links. So down the bottom here, we highlight, click our link button, and type in contact, let it think about it, select contact. It's now linked up. We click update, exit back out again. If we go to our services page, our about page is probably next, so we go to about. And down the bottom here, contact us, we click on this, click the link. Again, we type in contact, click our contact us, update the page, and we're good to go. So the next thing we're going to look at is actually the blog. So if I go back out again for a second, before we actually get into the theme, we do have to look at the blog. It's something I actually forgot about until then. If I go to here and go to blog, I can actually click view from here to open up the blog page. You see we have Hello World, which is basically a blog post that comes with WordPress. And if I click on that, we have got one comment, which is this comment. These are all just, this comes standard with WordPress, is this Hello World post. What I'm actually going to do, I'm going to edit this post, and I'll show you then how the blog works. So we've got Hello World, this is our first post. Normally I would delete this. I would go into posts, so I'd delete it, or I'd find it the way I just have now and click under document here, move to trash. But we're actually going to keep Hello World there just for the sake of this video. So featured image, I'm going to set a featured image. I'm going to make it this person running. Set featured image, click update. Now I'm just going to bring up some lorem ipsum text, but I'm going to go back out here. So we've got our blog posts. So you can find them if you're in the dashboard by going down to posts, and you see we've got posts here. We can even categorize these posts if we want to. For now, let's just get a few posts up and go from there, but we can add categories as we go. So what we're going to do, I'm actually going to do that. We're going to add a new post up here. You can say 10 ways to keep fit. And what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to generate just some dummy text to pop in there, because you've actually seen me create a few pages. So what we're going to do in order to move ahead, you've seen how the page editor works. I'm going to copy, I'm going to click in here and paste in some dummy text, and then I'm just going to basically add an intro. Here's 10 ways to keep fit. Now I do recommend a few more paragraphs, like a few more sentences of introduction. You don't want it to go forever, but if you had maybe 4 or 5 sentences, or 3 or 4 sentences, that's a good way to introduce. And then you can start going into subheadings, such as the first way to keep fit, which might be to run. So we turn that into a header, and I'm just going to basically type some in here. Swim, we turn that one into a header, and so on and so forth. So you might say, boxing, heading, weightlifting, heading, and we go down from there. So we're typing up content in here. We're going to basically choose subheaders, throw some images in there, exactly as we did on the About page, but we're going to just sort of speed through this a bit because you probably don't want to see this all over again. I'm going to go back across the document, click Set Featured Image, pick this image we chose before. I would probably choose a different image, but for the sake of getting through this, we'll just choose that one image. Now here you will see we have categories. So there's actually no categories there, so I'm going to add a new category. We're going to call this category Fitness. We're going to add that category in. So now it's in the fitness category. Save that draft. Now, we've got our permalink here. So let's say we're looking for 10 ways to keep fit. If that is the phrase we're trying to reach for our search engine optimization, that's fine. Otherwise, if you're looking to rank for keep fit, which would be almost impossible because it's a very short phrase, you could simply reduce it down to keep fit. But we're just going to keep it 10 ways to keep fit. And we're going to publish that blog post. And then once again, I'm going to go out and very quickly just create another dummy blog post, a little less full on this time. I'm going to say top health foods. And then we're just going to paste our dummy text in, go to document and featured image. This tomato image. Create a new category, call it, we'll say nutrition. Add new category, publish post, publish. So what we've essentially done with these posts, if I head back out, we've gone under posts, add a new post, and these are our posts here. And on the blog page, they're going to go from newest down to oldest. So if I actually go back to the front end of the site and go to blog, we have these entries here. So we have an image, our title, it's under nutrition, it's written by Flademaster, who is me, and we've got read more. And then we've got same again, with our 3 posts. Now, you might be thinking, I don't want Flademaster, my username, to be there. For one, I don't want people to know my username, but I also want people to know my actual name. So what we're going to do very quickly is go back to our dashboard, under users, all users. We've got Flademaster here, we're going to click on that. And you can fill out this profile. So you've got first name, let's say Wade, last name, McMaster. And we can say display name publicly as Wade McMaster. Update the profile. Your nickname must be different than your login name. Okay. Wade McMaster. Nickname, we're going to change that to Wade. So you do have to fill in nickname and change it to something different than your username. Display publicly as Wade McMaster. So going through this process again. Update profile. All right, profile updated. Let's go back out to the front end. Go to our blog. You see here, it's now by Wade McMaster. So we've got our post here in order. If I wanted to read more, I can. So now we've got our headings, we've got our image at the top, our text, and if people want to, they can leave a comment. You can read the next post. This is a part of this theme in particular, is that previous and next post. It's in a lot of themes, but not all themes. So yeah, we've got our blog posts there too. So now we have a website that has a whole bunch of content. So now we can really get into the fun stuff and start playing with the design of the site. So as I mentioned before, we've installed the Astra theme, and if I want to start playing with the look of it, the first place I'm going to go to up the top here is to customize, and this is where we customize a lot of the areas of our theme. As you see here, they're pushing Astra Pro, but we're just focused on free themes at the moment. So we're going to go to global, typography, base typography. This is where we start playing with the fonts. So you see here, we've got a whole bunch of fonts. We've got so system fonts. I believe we also have Google fonts in here somewhere, but we do have quite a selection of fonts. So it's actually pretty cool what we can do. We can also change the line height across, so I can go up and down. I can drag that across. We can make it say 2. It's a little bit buggy actually. There's a slider in this thing. We can go across, basically change that line height. You can see it spreads out the more we leave it in. I don't know why the slider isn't working quite properly yet, but that's okay. You can see we can change that line height. I'm going to reset it though. Same with the margin underneath the paragraph. We can go, what just happens if we type in 10? We get these massive breaks in here. So you can obviously change that. So let's try 3 smaller ones, but we're going to reset that again. So the body and the content, the font family, we're going to choose. Obviously we've got so many fonts here. We do have some system fonts. Catamaran's not bad. I do prefer Google fonts, but yeah, we're going to stick with Catamaran for now. The size, I'm going to go for 16. And this button here, we'll actually put it into tablet mode. And then we can change the size again. So we'll keep it at, not 1, because that's a bit small. We'll keep it at 16. And then when we go down here, we can choose phone to see what the font is like on a phone. Happy with that. So we're actually going to just go back. I simply go through, if I come back, this is your main page. I go through and I try to explore as many settings as possible. And you can basically change things around the way you want. I'll change this back to desktop over here. We do have base colors. The theme color, we're talking about paleo. So let's go with a bit of a green, more of a browny sort of dirtier sort of green. I like that, let's stick with that. Our link color, now if I want to copy that color, I'm going to copy this code. So right click, copy, click away. The link color, I'm going to select and paste that same one in there. Link hover color, let's make it purple just for the hell of it. So we hover, we get a purple, so that's nice, but let's just change that to something a bit better. Heading color, if you don't want the black, maybe we go for that green again, but we go something dark. So maybe even like maybe we go for a brown color. And the background color, so behind here, I don't know if it's actually the content or behind the content. You can see there's a slight separation in color there. If I choose the orange, yep, we've got that. So we got a brown background color there. Now we can add a background image. So I'm going to tab over back to pixels. And once again, I'm going to choose so healthy food. We saw some pretty cool images here before. Let's stick with, say, this one, which isn't too bad. So I'm going to choose, now some of these are a little big. I'm going to go with the 1280 again because it will probably stretch out to a decent and still look decent. Go free download. Now I'm going to tab back here, select the background image, upload, choose our background image, select it, and if you give it a moment to load up, it should actually pop into that background, although the background color may be sitting over the top of it. So if we clear that, that's pretty cool. Now you see we've got this repeating effect. I don't really like that, so let's go down to our background image and go more settings. Let's turn off, let's have no repeat. Let's go center is fine. Let's say cover. And we're going to say fixed. So scroll means if I hold it, it'll scroll with the page. Fixed means the image just stays in place. So that actually looks kind of cool, but what we're going to do is, it's a bit hard with some elements over the top. We're going to go background color. This time we'll actually go for, find something that's going to be a lighter sort of orange. So get up nice and high, come down. So we've got that light color there. Now for some reason, because I'm zoomed in, I believe, if I zoom out, so So this slider sitting down here should be up here to the right, and I don't know why. I'm just going to hit enter for that now. Yeah, there's some funny issues going on here, but this little slider that's moved down here is actually a transparency, so I can tone that down a bit and get something like that going. Now your browser might not do that. I don't know why mine is. I've had some issues with this theme by the looks of it. I'm going to publish this. I'm going to exit. And this is our website so far. So already it's starting to look a lot better. But I know we haven't gotten to it yet, but I want to change this logo to something a bit better. So I'm actually going to go out of full screen again for a sec. Close this. I'm going to go into canva.com. And I'm going to just create a design, say about 500. Actually, no. What am I doing? Get custom size. Let's make it about 500 by 200. That way it's sort of like it's wide, it's less than half the height. Now let's create a Flayed Industries logo. I've done this before in other videos, but basically we're going to go over to text over here. We're going to keep that heading up the top white. I don't know if you can change the color in this version. In the Pro version you can. We're going to keep that heading white for now. We're going to add a heading, and we're going to call it Flayed. And we're going to move it up, and we're going to find a font in here we think is going to look pretty cool. So we've got that script or something a little bit different. So there's obviously a fair few fonts here. If you go to canva.com and sign up, you can quickly create these images pretty easily. Would rather find a sort of more attractive font. Let's just go with this. It's not the best. Actually, no, we might stick with Allura. No, I'm actually a graphic designer, so I'm getting a little bit fussy here. But you can spend your time, look through, find a font you like. I'm just going to stick with this script here. So Flayed. Not necessarily the best choice, but it will do the job. Now I'm going to highlight this text here, change the color. I'm going to pick a green, and I'm going to click up here and just adjust that. So we've got our Flayed there. Add an effect, so we can add sort of like a bit of a drop shadow or something like this. We can offset it less, change the direction. So you got a few cool little options there. We'll go Flayed, and then we're going to add a subheading. We're just going to type in here, Industries. Let's see if they have catamaran on here. Catamaran light. Get catamaran black. Let's make it a bit bigger, say 40. I do have a guide on how to do a quick logo like this in Canva. Once again, another video I'll link to below. It's going to be a pretty long list. But, you know, that's our logo. Let's say we're happy with that. We want to use that in our site. And go up here to download. I'm going to change it to JPEG. I'm going to click download. It's going to prepare our design. Try to sell us Canva Pro. And now our download is finished. So if I go back over to the site, I'm going to go back into full screen, zoom in a bit again, zoom out, go up to customize at the top here, and I'm pretty sure our logo will be relatively easy to find. Go to header, site identity, there you go, select logo. Upload, select files, choose our Flayed Industries. Now, I'm not going to go too nuts with the design on this site. I'm going to just move that crop out because I might actually do another video on this theme just to, you know, to flesh it out a little bit more. And you see we've got our logo here and we've got the text next to it. We don't want the text as well. So we'll get rid of display site title. We'll turn that off. We've just got just the logo. Change that width. And things are starting to sort of look more the way we want them to look. So I'm going to now just come back. But it's a simple case of going through, have a play with you know, some of these settings. You don't want to go through absolutely everything because we are trying to get through this. I'm relatively happy with the layout even as it is. There's a few more things I want to do yet. but you sort of get the idea. One thing we can do here is change the header layout, which I think is very cool. Have flayed at the top, or maybe flayed off to the right with the navigation off to the left, so that's pretty cool. Once again, this is the Astra theme. It's a free theme. I do highly recommend Divi. I've done several videos on it just because you can do basically anything with it. So something worth looking into. Typography, headings. So with the headings, I want to make those a bit bolder. Let's go extra bold. Inherit. So inherit means it'll inherit just the general style. So catamaran. So extra bold, for some reason, it hasn't made much of a difference. Heading 1, let's change that weight again to extra bold. Heading 2, stick with bold. Heading 3, whoop, stick with bold, and we'll just keep it that way. Let's publish that. Alrighty, so there's obviously more things we can do here. The blog has a few settings. Header. But, so we've got a basic site so far. We've got Flayed Industries, home, about us, services, blog, contact us. The site's looking a bit better the way we want it to look. Maybe we want to add a call to action over here. So once again, I'm actually going to flick back over to Canva. And I'm going to create a new image, say we'll go 500 by 500. I'm going to go to photos and type in health food. You might go something that has a bit of color to it. Let's do something like this. Let's just size it up. Oh, this is a premium image, so for the sake of the video, we'll just stick with a free image. So a lot of these ones with little crowns on them are actually pro images you have to pay for. Pro. All right, so decisions. Let's just pop this one here. So you can have a call to action here, but what I'm going to do even is add an element. Something like a square. We'll go a square here. Go across. Let's make that square black. Let's click over here. This little spot here to make it transparent. And then let's just put some text over the top. Add heading. Need more info. I'm going to choose catamaran again just for some consistency. Whoops. Need more information. Change that line height a little bit. Now I'm going to actually duplicate this. So I've got it selected. I believe somewhere here, the dots, I can duplicate it, move it down, and I'll just say contact us. I'm going to change that font color to like a bit more of a flurry looking green. Alright, so we just got a basic image, a contact us image from the sidebar. If you spend a bit more time on it, you can probably get something a bit better. But to be honest, that kind of works. So let's download that as a JPEG. Download. Once again, selling us. Alright, I'm going to tab back across. We're going to go into our widgets area here. You see here, so our sidebar has all these pieces here. I'm actually going to just drag these off to the left, get rid of all of them, except for recent posts and search. I'm going to move search to the bottom, and then I'm going to move image up here, add an image. I'm going to upload files, choose our little sidebar image, and click. I'm going to make that full size, add to widget. And then we can, I don't know if this works here. No. So I'm actually going to open up a new tab, right click and copy the link address, And then I'm going to just quickly tab back, pop that link in the link to area and save it. So now I've got the Flayed Industries. We have this cool sidebar image, a search function. We go to our About Us page. Got some About Us information that's sort of looking not too bad. Services. Got our services here. It's starting to look a bit more like a real site, like an actual website. So now I'm not sure with this theme if there's much we can do with the home page. I might try setting a featured image and see what we get. So let's try something like, stick with the good old fashioned tomato image. We've got some page attributes here, nothing there. So you can disable certain areas of the page. But you can see our background's actually in the editor, which is a pretty cool little addition. Sidebar, we've got customized things. So you can choose different sidebars, like left or right. Maybe in this one I choose no sidebar, and maybe the content layout I go maybe content boxed. And let's just see what that looks like. I'll update it. You can click preview, but because this is a site that's got a coming soon page, I tend to update and check. So this is our home page, home, welcome. I kind of preferred it with the sidebar. So I will just quickly head back, we'll turn that back on. So it's always good just to play around, check these things out. We've got content boxed. Let's go right sidebar and let's just go back to customize the setting and update. View that page. So we've got an image on the home page. We've got our sidebar here, go to our blog. So things aren't looking too bad, although we have the same image at the top for the first blog post as we do for the home page, which sort of get the idea. Now this theme I believe is built a lot for Elementor, or actually compatible with a lot of page builders. I don't know if there's a lot of other options. There's Astra options here, so let's have a look. Layout options. I believe this is a pro. No. So we can change the width, make it narrower or wider. And once again, this slider seems to be playing up. I've got no idea why, but we can simply do it this way. So we can change a few things around. Zoom out a little bit so you can see what we're doing. Obviously, Astra Pro has a few more. To the blog post layout, we can change something else. So let's try boxed. So you have this boxed layout, content boxed, full width and contained. That actually removes the background, so that's actually pretty cool. Full width stretched. Now this will actually just make it the whole width of the page, which I'm not a huge fan of because sometimes the text can be a bit too wide and therefore it's a bit of a pain to read. People's eyes don't necessarily want to read it at that length. But you sort of get the idea. Homepage settings. Oh, just the basic homepage settings. So yeah, I mean that's basically our website now. Obviously, we can take it a step further. What I recommend, so one thing I'll be doing in the future from here on, something I want this that I think this video will lead into well, we're going to play around with some themes, and that way. So we've got these extra plugins in that here, but we're going to play around with some themes in the future and explore what we can do with them a bit better, and that way you can choose a theme and we can actually sort of explore it for you and you get a bit of a knowledge on how to get it looking the way you want. So at the moment we just got this theme's pretty basic. It does look pretty good, but it'd be good to be able to do a bit more with that layout. Now the final step we're going to do with this website, say we're happy with it the way it is, we're going to go to our plugin, so settings, simple coming soon. We're going to turn this plugin off, save it, and now the website is live at flayedindustries.com, although it might not be for much longer. I do plan on doing more with it. But this is our website. We've got a website, we've got a little intro. Now, I'm going to, like I said, we're going to explore some more themes. I do have a video already that explores 3 free themes you can use, but what I'll do from here on, I'm going to start releasing more videos exploring themes and how to customize them, so that way you can have a play with it. The next video I'm going to do, I'm actually going to build an entire website with a Divi theme. So if you want to see that one, please consider subscribing, because that's going to be another pretty full-on video. Show you, we're going to take this existing site here and we're going to basically use the same text, but we're going to really rev up the design with Divi and get it looking like a whole new level. So yeah, hang around, subscribe, keep an eye out for that one. Otherwise, we'll got more free theme reviews, some premium theme reviews. We're going to check those out in the future. So yeah, I hope you found that video useful, just to get a basic website set up and get started. If you have any questions, please leave a comment below, because I will be, obviously I'll try and answer them. If not, even create videos to answer them if I feel it's a decent enough question that requires a good answer. I'll try my best to answer everyone and even create videos for people. So yeah, once again, if you want to sign up, check out HostGator. I'll pop that link on the screen in a minute. Now, also, if you want to check out Divi, that video I'm going to do, I will link to some Divi videos below. I highly recommend the Divi theme if you are looking to really customize your website. It does have the best features. In my opinion, the best theme out there for WordPress is the Divi theme. So check that out. Otherwise, I hope you have a great day. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again soon.